Hello, I'm ABX and welcome back to another facecam video. These are fun little vlog style things where I talk directly at the camera about stories and such from my life, and a lot of you seem to have enjoyed the past few ones, so I figured why not do some more, just in case you didn't, or in case you're wondering is this the real toy cat or is this some weird mannequin or something. Instead you should be curious as to why I'm standing. Am I standing? Like, why does it look like I am? That's a bit weird, right? That's something you can work out while I talk about what I wanted to, which is actually the big thing that's happened to me this year, I think, the biggest thing so far, which is living alone for the first time. But for the past 3 months now, I have been living entirely on my own, in my own little place, my little thing, and although I've lived, alone as in separate from my parents before, this is my first time not living, 2 years ago I lived with my girlfriend and brother. This is my first time just purely alone for such a long stretch of time, and there's been lots of weird observations and big differences that I wanted to share in today's video, so that's exactly what I'm going to be doing. Hopefully you all do enjoy it. Like the video if you do, because it helps out the channel and feeds my wife and kids, or if I'm not real, then, feeds my imaginary wife and kids. I mean, just because they're imaginary doesn't mean they don't need likes too, but yeah, that's it. Let's get straight into talking about, I guess, the first thing, the thing that immediately comes to my mind, and that is being able to wake up whenever I want. And I know this is something you can get, by the way, the point of this video is like, oh yeah, maybe you're gonna move out yourself, or maybe you're just curious what the process is like, because I just actually realized that most people never live on their own in their lifetime, right? Like, most people, live with their parents, and then they'll move out and go to, like, university or college, where you live with, like, 6 other people, or, like, even one dorm mate or something, and then you go, you get a wife and kids, and then you're living with those people, and then, it's all over, and there's no living by yourself. Well, in this particular example, I've got this, like, rare experience in my life. Sorry about the weird glitch there. Don't worry about the camera. I'm gonna stay on topic by talking about the first big difference of living alone. That was just a cool little thought I had, but right there, which is to do with, waking up, because at my old house, I lived with my parents, they were children, I had to wake up at like 7 or whatever they felt like waking up, because they'd start crying and screaming, or whatever else. So it's kind of nice that I can wake up whenever I want, but it's not even just like, oh yeah, if you live with like this or that, but like there's no judgment if I want to wake up at 1 p.m. I haven't yet, actually, I've woken up at 1 p.m. once or twice, like after a really crazy night that went to like 7 a.m. But, besides that, I mostly keep on track, and that's nice. But if I do want to wake up at 1 p.m., 2 p.m., it's like I just can, and nothing else happens. Like, the whole day isn't affected, and there is something actually kind of nice about that. The only thing that does change, if it's like a Wednesday, for some reason there's this one dude, like, way down the street that plays clarinet really loudly. I mean, maybe I'll be woken up by clarinet if it's a Wednesday that I'm sleeping in that late, but besides that, I can just do whatever I want, and even if that was a problem, I could just, like, cover the windows or something, and it's kind of nice that you have this, like, sound insulation and also the judgment insulation from the world. I don't have to worry about anything happening in that schedule, because it's all in control of me. There's something really nice about just all of that time becoming my time. Obviously I have to then, like, schedule it up, like, gotta, go get my eyes checked, and gotta go, like, do this, and gotta, I used to go a section at the time, but I'm like 100% in control of it now, and I guess that's something even more rare than just like living by yourself and being self-employed or whatever. It's just like, whoa, there's like 168 hours in a week. That's so many. Like, I've got to work out when it's been kind of a cool thing that way. So yeah, the first big difference is like being able to wake up at 3 p.m. Or I guess I have to wake up by 3 p.m. or I get the clarinet dude, but still I can wake up anytime until 3 p.m. and not get judged and not even have anyone notice, which is kind of cool like that. So the second thing I'd say is probably, honestly, I accidentally hit a thing that made the thing go away. But the second thing I'd say is probably the social requirement that you don't realize until, because again, living by myself with my then girlfriend and then my brother, again, you can probably work out with them. But basically, living with them, it's like, oh yeah, well, there's always like some back and forth, and honestly, it's kind of more stressful than your parents. Because when I live with my parents, it's just like, yeah, we'd say this is cool, and like we have a once-a-day conversation. But like living, in the same room as a girlfriend, you can imagine there's a lot of back and forth going on there. Living with a brother, we have a lot in common, so we're always talking about tech and stuff. Living by yourself means that, like, if you want to just chill in a corner like me, because I'll be honest, I think I'm quite an introverted person. Like, I was the sort of person that, like, when plans were cancelled, like after school or something, I'd be like, oh, that's a bummer, but oh, now I've got all this time back to myself, and I'm just going to play games or whatever. That's how this channel started, because I played games instead of doing whatever else. And this is one of those things, I guess, that you realize, like, you can't just keep doing that when you're by yourself. You can't just not make plans and hope that all your plans get cancelled, because if you just spend, like, a week not talking to anyone, I think that starts to break you a little bit, in a way that you'd never realize, because you have to talk to people in day-to-day life, right? But if you live by yourself and you stock your food and you don't want to go outside, you can just I could just sit in this room for 7 days, or I could sit in this room, fall asleep in the other room, and then go back and forth for 7 days. And I think that's like, there's something kind of nuts about that you don't realize, but there is a point of non-contact with humans where you do start to break. I have a friend who he lives with his brother, but like his brother moved out for like a month or so. He also moved out by himself recently, and he said he spent like 2 weeks, and it didn't start to be that much of an issue, but it did start to wonder, like, you know what, do I ever need to speak to people again? And it's just I realized like this must be how people go crazy, because you know, I can see it in my own brain like start to form after like maybe 5 days or a week or something, and it makes you realize there is an importance in talking to people that I don't think I'd ever realize. If I never lived by myself, I'd always think like it'd be nice to do that, but like having done it for like, you know, pretty serious stretches of time. Pro tip: speaking to people is a good idea. If you haven't done it in like a week and you're watching this video, speak to I don't know, just speak to the guy at Subway, ask him what you should put in your sub. Boom. Linking back to a previous idea, that's what you should totally do. I'd say the next thing actually, this is just like, again, it kind of goes back to the wacky thing. My favorite thing about living alone is you can make bad decisions and no one will judge you for it. And this extends to pretty much anything. So like my food choices, I had pizza week when I first moved in, because I was like, I'm gonna learn to make the perfect pizza, because this is gonna come up. I need to make pizza for someone, or like myself really, but I want to make it good. And I made so many bad pizzas, but I ate them all, because you don't make pizza and then just not eat it. So I ate pizza for maybe, I think it was 9 days in a row or something. That's a bad dietary decision. You're just eating like what, dough and cheese and tomatoes. It's pretty healthy because it's fan-made or something. But point being is, it's not a good dietary decision, but you can just make pizza week, and you know who's going to judge you besides the internet. Recently, I've also made the decision, like bread, if you buy a whole loaf of bread, even a half loaf of bread, you waste half of it, because I'm one person, I can't eat all that bread. Same thing with milk, same thing with like a bunch of other things like that. So instead of buying bread, or even like buying like sandwich bread or whatever, I've started just moving to waffle bread. So now whenever I make a sandwich or anything that requires bread, I'll just use waffles instead. And you might think, Toy Cat, that's not how... Again, you're looking at that and you're going to give me like the lame, like, no, you shouldn't do that, Toy Cat. But it tastes delicious and it works in every circumstance. I swear, every situation where you want to have like a good sandwich, it is made better with waffles. Waffles are just better bread, and although they're a little bit smaller, you know, it's still an okay decision to make. So yeah, pro tip right there, you replace your bread with waffles. You can't do that if you live with other people, because they'll look at you and they'll say, Toy Cat, you can't just replace bread with waffles. But guess what? You can do it, and it's fresher because they're like individually wrapped. They last like a month instead of like 2 weeks or something, and boom, life pro tip for living alone right there, that people will judge you for if you don't live alone. So basically what I'm saying is you can just make lots of bad decisions, and because you're in the confines of this little box or whatever, then people can't really go too bad with that. So another thing I guess is this one is ridiculous, but I guess it's realizing certain things don't happen, and the biggest one is cleaning, honestly. Like, there's so much builder's dust in this house, because me and Jeff, the plumber, we destroyed the bathroom and then put it back in, but like over the course of like a month, and we did it poorly, like horribly, and there's dust everywhere basically. But not only did, like, after I cleaned that like initial wave of dust, all the dust is like settled and like it's come back again. So there's like an above average amount of like dust that settles, and it means that even if I clean everything, I'm like, you know, I'm gonna go through the house and clean it like a week later. And bear in mind, a week, like, you know, can pass in like an instant because fun and stuff. But you know, a week will pass and then everything's just crazy dirty again, and that is like the worst thing in the world. The fact that like you have to like constantly do stuff just to keep things going. So I think my pro tip on this one is just don't care. I mean, I'm in that phase. I'd like to go back to like caring at some point, but for now it's just like, you know, what if I just don't? Yeah, well, if I don't clean it now, then it can't get dirty later because it's already dirty right now. Like right now I think there's like half an eggshell on my worktop. Well, can't be an unclean worktop if it's already unclean right now. Boom. That's smart stuff right there. So pro tip, things can't get... I think another big example, like, this is ridiculous, but again, keep in mind, I've lived in situations. I think like laundry, every now and then I'm like, you gotta like do this like twice a week. If you don't do this for like 2 weeks, then you just gotta start wearing, like, there's a few things like, there's a lot of things like that, in fact, like bills that have to be paid, where you have to like actually stay on top of them, and you don't realize it until it happens. So pro tip right there for everyone watching this video. I guess another one actually is doors. So you can't, let's rotate you. So I have a door just over there, fun fact. Can you see it? It's open right now, right? And so is the door behind it. You can see 2 doors. Ignore the weird like broken wall thing, but you can see this door is open. You see that door back there, also open. Every single door in my house right now, yeah, every single door in my house is open. And you might, it's one of those weird, again, realizations that if you live by yourself, and if you don't have guests around every day, I'd say I have like guests around maybe once a week, maybe once every 2 weeks. But if you don't have guests around every week, or every day, if you don't have guests around regularly, you don't need doors. If you don't have anyone in your house, doors are just this ridiculous function to separate rooms. Like, honestly, I think doors are the most like worthless thing in a house where you live by yourself. I'd say if you were building a house for yourself, you just wouldn't build doors, right? Because all they're there to do is to separate where you are right now from other people. Usually sound, sometimes privacy or whatever. But in this case, I live by myself. I've never needed to shut a door because I'm just going to have to open it later. I've never had to, like, you know, like, shut a door behind me because I'm just, again, shutting a door is just so you can open it later in this case. And that's one of the wacky things that was like, this is cool. When you live by yourself, doors have no meaning. And there's a fun fact you might not know. Anyway, the final thing I guess I should point out, because it is kind of going back to the previous point, again, it's pro tip, if you haven't spoken to anyone for a week, please do speak to someone. But I really value alone time, right? And it's really great. I say the best thing about living by myself as opposed to all my other living situations. Again, I've lived in a whole bunch of places, but I'd say my favorite thing about living by myself, which, by the way, possible because of YouTube, really cool thing. And also, I will be doing a house tour. I know lots of people want to see, like, so what is going on back there? What is with the, wait, it's probably going to make the webcam fall off, but you see the sound foam? What is with everything in here? I'll do a setup tour, or a house tour, or something soon. But yeah, let's say somewhat on point for now, and say that, yeah, I guess the value of alone time is one of my favorite things I've realized about living by myself. Like, just the ability to, like, sit down, play some games, maybe even listen to a podcast if I want some, like, speaking, but just to sit there and for everything to be fine and relaxed and good. It's really good. It's something I'd recommend at some point. Like, I don't know, make everyone leave your house for a really long time and just sit there and just have bliss. It's really wonderful. And that's like, I'd say, like, I would be worried about the concept of living alone if I was, like, doing it again now. But I think there's, like, a lot of benefits as well as a lot of... It's like, it's actually a game of weighing up risks, whereas a lot of people think it's all downsides or all benefits. It's a lot of both, but the best thing is just being able to chill in the evenings on my sofa and just be like, nothing can bother me now. And that's where I'll end today's video, actually, because nothing can bother me and nothing should bother you. I hope you did all enjoy today's video. Like it if you liked it. Share it if you... How do you do a share? Share it if you really liked it. And subscribe if you're new around here, because I make videos like this one every single day on my channel, and if you subscribe, you'll see them daily on your homepage. Let me know what you thought of this, like, me just talking at the camera about living alone, because I enjoyed this, but again, this was like a very different style vlog, because I want to do more of these, like, maybe once a week. I'll also probably be doing a travel vlog soon, maybe in the past, maybe in the future. So let me know if you want to see more, or just one of those, if there isn't one yet. I know, I want to do more vloggy stuff on the channel, so look forward to that, but for now, thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.